Thanks, Buller High School, for your great question about how do I support my child to get back into a regular routine and get excited about going to school. Such a good question, because I think not only over in your neck of the woods, but I think around the world, there are a lot of adults having this very big problem. Because, when else in the universe in time have we ever had the situation where we've had forced periods of lockdown when people haven't been able to go to school, and all sorts of variation in between. For some, lockdown will have been the best thing ever, me included. For others it will have been a really, really hard thing to get used to. But now we're getting back into life as the new normal. You're going to have children and adults having to adjust to that, and that takes some time. I think the really important thing here is to look at the young person in front of you. It's important not to make assumptions about what is driving that reluctance. For some it might be that actually I like PlayStation and it's too cold, so I don't want to go outside. For others it might be, actually I'm really anxious about going to school, I'm anxious about learning, I'm anxious about being around peers, I'm anxious about being away from home. And for others there can also be things going on at home which mean they feel like it's really important to stay close. So being in relationship, knowing that child, knowing what's going on around them can be really important. I think realistic is also really important, because when I was looking at your question and it said how do we get them being excited about regular routines, I don't know, even before lockdown, how much excitement most teens had about going to school, possibly not a lot. I think that, moments of excitement, but for some it's going to be about how do I get back to tolerating being at school. For some it might be actually how do I just, don't dislike it too much. We've got to be realistic about what we're expecting from young people. Part of that realism too is having a plan for it. So if a child is currently not attending school or showing a lot of reluctance and resistance, to go, well, they just should. Of course they should be going to school and should be going to school happily, but they're not. So we actually have to start our plan where they currently are rather than where they think they should be. And that plan might involve teaching them skills, might involve having some rewards for being at school, and it's going to have to probably involve, in fact let's take the probably out of it, some real firm parenting or some real firm teamwork with the adults around that young person. I often use the term warm rock. We want to be compassionate, we want to get that this is hard, but we need the rock part. They need to be at school. Because no one got over school avoidance through avoiding, unfortunately. And so we need to get them back into that school environment and make it as tolerable as possible. Now to do that, that takes energy. It takes teamwork and energy. So it's really important for those people in positions of power to be looking after their team, and obviously looking after yourself as well. Because if we're looking to that young person to give us a high five and say, hey, thanks very much, that's probably a step too far. So we probably have to give ourselves own internal and high fives, and as a team support each other, because this can be hard work. But good luck, it's really worth it.